Okay, let's see what we got here. Testing this again. I'm finally in for the night. It's kind of warm. Just trying to see how this system's gonna work. Kind of, I don't know. Don't feel real comfortable with it, but had a lot of people asking me that if I could come online because a lot of people can't get through to me during the day. I am now kind of committed with a friend of mine that I've been working for. That I'm going to be working at his dealership. I'll make that announcement probably when I actually get back. I've got another tour coming up of fixing balers, and so far we've got a few balers in Minnesota, a few in Iowa, a couple in Missouri, and the list just keeps getting bigger and bigger. If you want to get on the list, get on Hey Baylor Nation, hit up Rachel Larrabee, and send her a message, and she'll get you a quote on where we're going and when. I know we got to go south some, so if you want to get on the list, this will be probably my last trip for this year. I wanted to do more, but kind of burned myself out last year. I mean, 330 Baylors was stressful to say the least. I need to get some more people out there that get trained and they can do this. I'm actually in my fifth wheel camper. Got the heat turned way up. I got really cold today, so trying to warm up a little bit, I guess. Waiting for people to come on. So if you have any questions about square balers, pop me up a few questions. I can see if I can answer them the best I can. I like to actually look at the machines or see some picture of them. But moving forward, like I said, I am planning on leaving here the second week in March, and I will be heading out to start working on balers, and I probably will finish, I'm thinking right around April, the end of April. So, and if you want to get on the list, like I said, we're traveling. Like I said, right now we got a couple in Minnesota, we got a couple in Iowa, and a couple in Missouri. So if anybody's interested, get hold of Rachel Larrabee on Hey Baylor Nation. Send her a message, and she'll get you on the list to stop and see you. I see we got a few people to come on. Um, Good evening. Nice meeting you. If you have any questions about your Baylor, please just post them up. This is just a test run. This is test number 2. I've never done a thing like this before on YouTube, so this is new to me, but I'm trying to reach more people, trying to figure out more problems. Maybe I can fix your machine without you then. Where am I headed to Minnesota? I think I'm going to be 2 hours west of St. Paul, Minnesota, or maybe it's an hour and a half. So, again, Rachel Larrabee on Hey Baylor Nation on Facebook. You can hit her up there, or you can call the our Baylor phone, which is 607 846 5959. You can reach her there also, or that is now a cell phone, so you can now text that number. And bear with us because we get lots of texts during the day. So, but like I said, we are traveling all over. I'm guessing there's been rumors that we have a gentleman in the top part of Michigan. So, looks like we'll be going there as well. But any Baylor questions you got, any concerns or anything, like I said, post them up. If you need parts, I will be traveling, so I can carry small parts with me. Really big stuff, unless I got the room or I'm pulling a trailer with me, probably won't happen. And freight has gotten ridiculous for anything actually anymore. So, thanks for the question about Minnesota. I don't know exactly what towns they are. I just get told to drive, and I get there, and I usually get some pictures of the Baylor before I get there, so I know what I'm dealing with when I get there. And if it needs parts, that's how I do it with everybody. I tell you what parts I think it'll need. You order them. They're there when I get there, and I have some kits with me, so I'm prepared to tackle most everything. If not, I'm pretty sure there's a local junkyard, or if I have to, I can go fix another Baylor, and then I would drive back on my way back and stop and finish the job I had started. So, but if you're interested in that, like I said, the phone number is 607 846 5959. That's RNS Ag Service. We're located in Waverly, New York. I also am committed to a dear friend of mine. He bought a dealership, and I told him I would help him get it straightened around, and so I'll be working out of there as well. He's a pretty cool guy. I consider him my brother, and like I said, I don't mind helping him out. Is there anybody else with any other questions? Trying to stay on here, so trying to see how this works. This YouTube thing, never done it before. It's different. So if anybody's got any questions about their square baler, any models and stuff, parts are hard for everything right now. I do have some aftermarket supplies. I do have some used parts. So except for the really rare stuff, everybody's running out of it. So, and the price of stuff is ridiculous right now. It's the old days of buying a baler for a few $100 and fixing it for a couple hundred is pretty much gone. Nodder halves are getting expensive. Cam gears, even needles are getting outrageous. Again, probably going to do another video on the eBay scams because I just had somebody got scammed last fall. Bought a part. They were told it was good. And as soon as I got to the guy's place, really bad. The needle had the wrong bend to it. It had been smacked by the plunger or something happened to it. Didn't even have the right arch to it. So here this poor gentleman spent good money. And of course, the seller, guess what? Pretty much ghosted him, like disappeared. So he's got a case going. I don't think he's going to get anything out of it. I was able to find a parts baler within probably 75 miles. We went and got the right piece and got him back going again. So, has anybody got any questions? I see there's a few people on now. This is, bear with me. This is my first time doing this. I've never done an actual live interactive thing on YouTube. So, if I'm doing horrible, tell me. I mean, I don't know how I'm doing right now. It's awkward. I'm used to talking to my customers and used to, actually physically touching their baler and dealing with it. But everybody's telling me that I need to get to doing this to reach more people, to hopefully teach somebody out there like you that could fix somebody else's baler for them. And we want to teach good things. We want to get people the right repairs they need and as cheap as possible. Because we're all like, this is not the greatest economy like we're being told. So, podcasts. Oh, how are you, Rachel? Some gentleman was asking where we're going in Minnesota. So perhaps you could post up where we're heading in Minnesota. Tie is perfectly, but when I push it, the twine hangs on the bill hook. Any ideas? I got a bad feeling that your knife is possibly dull or your twine disc is a little bit out of adjustment. If it's the far nodder, the nodder next to the heavy side, I would almost bet to guess that it's probably the twine tension plate is losing its strength to hold the twine tight enough to cut it when it's being pushed. Because if the twine doesn't cut fully, it's just going to hang on the bill hook and not slide off when the bill's supposed to pull it off. I would try re-shimming your knives. Remember, you're supposed to cut one string and leave the other. The other one pulls out of the twine disc. Kind of a real good balance there. I mean, I have the update kits. They have a higher tension on the twine tension plate, but it's also the twine disc itself. Make sure it's the timing that exactly matches the one on the other side next to it. But I'm pretty sure your tying problem is probably the heavy side of the baler. The knot likes to stick. That seems to be the most common problem with the IHs. Once in a while, I've seen the inside nodder, not very often. But I would tell you to resharpen the knife or change it if you got the razor blade update. Change the blade out. I know the price is ridiculous. It's $23 now for a brand new razor blade knife for an international nodder. The update kits I did, yeah, they're not cheap. They're $97 for both pieces, the arm and the tension plate. But the arm I made it so you can go to your local hardware store or Amazon, order a pack of 5 blades, and change them out. I think 5 blades is like $3, maybe $2, and you could change the knife out yourself. You don't need to come to me for the parts. I'm trying to slowly redesign parts for balers, so people can do it themselves. Like, and you got other options than the dealer that is going to charge you outrageous money for parts just to fix your machine. So I wish International would have done better. I mean, $24 for a little piece of razor blade knife. I think it's ridiculous. You got a new knife. If it's the razor blade one, then I'm gonna say it's the twine disc or tension plate. Did you put in brand new tension plate in it? I don't think they're available for my age unless you can find one in an obsolete parts warehouse. There's a gentleman in Tennessee. Wish I knew his phone number right now. It's on my phone that I'm using to talk to you with. But if you call the number 607-846-5959, we can get you the number. There's a gentleman that's got obsolete parts, IH parts for balers. I think he's in Tennessee or Kentucky. He's got quite an assortment. So, but the twine tension plate, if it doesn't hold the twine tight, if I held a rope loose and you tried to cut it and you went down through it, even a sharp knife, it's going to cut very difficult. If I pull that string super tight and you go to cut it, it's just going to cut through really easy. So the twine tension plate, when it goes through the twine disc, it's going to hold that string tight as the twine disc takes it across the knife. If it's wore, it's just going to let the twine slide as it's trying to cut it. And it's going to kind of like look like it's tore. And the knot is going to be like super stuck on the bill hook, like right onto the top part of the bill hook jaw. That's like number one twine tension plate or twine disc is like, it might be advanced or the worm gear might be worn enough that it's not going far enough to cut it. You can kind of compensate with some shims, but be careful because you're getting at the point, if it's cutting it, you don't want it to cut both strings because then you'll start getting a buildup in your twine disc. But it's a simple fix. It's complicated. Do you have the double jam nut on the end of your gear for your twine disc? The twine disc, so the early International balers, there's a gear, there's your twine disc, and there's a shaft, and the gear is just pinned on. On the later models, they made that gear with two double jam nuts on it, and that's a tapered fit. So if you break those two nuts loose, leave the nut, back it off to the very end of the bolt, and take a hammer and just tap on it, that'll knock that gear loose, and you can adjust the timing on that twine disc. But remember, when you do that, when you go to tighten it, that twine disc was one on a turn. So I always use something to hold the twine disc in place. And of course, I have a little 3/8 impact, so I can spin the nuts on without it spinning in my hands. But you might want to change the timing. But you have to, string really sticks on the top part of the bill hook jaw. The twine tension plate's probably shot in it. And remember, the way you know that is when you take your bolts out to take your knife out, if the holes stay lined up on the twine tension plate when you pull the bolts out for the knife, the twine tension plate is shot. That, you know, because there's supposed to be tension on that plate to hold that twine against the backside of that twine disc. And I tell everybody, when you pull the bolts out, if your holes don't line up no more and it's off by a good 3/4 of an inch, a half inch, that means that twine tension plate's still good. But, and remember, but they also get grooves worn in them because that twine does slide against that plate constantly. So if you take the twine tension plate out, you can lay it down. You can see if there's a groove worn in it where the twine's just sliding out. But most times, if it's the original IH twine tension plate, they just don't. I give them like 4 or 5 years and they're just like anything with springing. It loses its strength. If that guys try to rebend them, it doesn't work because it just, once the metal's fatigued, it doesn't hold up no more. That's why I made mine. I made a mistake. I kind of made them a little too heavy. And it takes like 2 people to put the twine tension plate in the knotter on mine. I've been able to do it a couple times by myself, but it's not easy at all. So I'm pretty sure it's your twine tension plate because if the knot sticks on the top part of that bill hook, it's really, really tough. But any other questions anybody's got? I see there's a couple more people that logged in, logged out. This is going kind of nice. I didn't know how this was going to work, so this is different. Your kit will fix that. It should. I mean, if the twine disc is out, I mean, the kit fixes probably 90% of the problems. I think it's $97 plus shipping. That's per knotter. So if you order the kit, and it comes with a nail and wrench to change the blade because I put 2 little screws in there, and you're using a micro a mini razor blade, and what you do is you just snap the ends off once you tighten the blade down onto the knife. And I try to make it as simple as possible. And I send you the package of the blades, and it has the part number right on there. And you can get them at Horn's True Value. I think Ace Hardware carries them as well. It's a mini razor blade, and it's just got 3 holes in it. We use 2 of the holes to bolt the blade on with, and you just take a pair of pliers and you snap off the tabs on the ends, so it makes it a regular width knife for the knife. And it works rather well. But I've tried to make all my kits so they're friendly for everybody to use. The International Update kit has been really awesome. I've had them quite a few made, and they sell out very, very fast. The sad part is most of my kits go to Australia. They go to Europe, England. I've sent a bunch to Africa. It's weird. There's a lot of strong international balers all around the world, and I've been really surprised when I came out with that kit. And there's a bunch of gentlemen in Australia that absolutely love these kits, and they work all the way from the 45 all the way up till you get to the all twine knouter. And obviously, you still gotta buy the knives from International till I figure out how to make an adapter to go on that arm to take away that 1 screw blade razor blade and make it back to a 2-1 to put our razor blades in there, because I just refuse to pay $23 for a razor blade that you can buy a pack of 5 at the store for a few bucks. So they're price gouging, and I don't like it. I wish C&H would watch this and say, hey, you know what? Why don't we give the farmers a break? So it would be really nice if more of the corporations would, on the older balers, would be a little more gentle with the parts. I mean, some of this stuff is getting obsolete, and it's harder for us to find parts for. I'm going to try to keep making stuff, but I've been really fortunate in all my years I've been fixing balers, and this is 34 years coming up now this August. And I think I'm gonna catch a lot of slack for this. John Deere used to be my favorite baler, and so was it New Holland. My New Holland Super 77s, love them to death. And I met Bill Stockman in Oxford, Iowa. Great guy. I got to see and work on my first 98 New Holland. I helped him fix the hydraulic bale tension on it. And then I got quite a collection of Super 77s and 77 balers. Love them. I love my John Deere's 14T, 24T, just rock solid machines. 336. They're fine. I mean, they lighten them up a lot. The newer balers are not what I'm used to seeing. Like anything from the 50s and 60s is built to last. You're talking a 77, Super 77 was 1954, and I think the last one was 1958. And they're still baling in the field today. Just impressive machinery. And 14Ts are still out there. Still got a lot of people baling with them. I like the Massey Fergusons. I like the 3s, 9, 10, and 12s. I did a lot of 12s on my last tour through Knoxville and Maynardville, Tennessee, up Anderson Pike. Met some awesome people. The lower part of Knoxville, a guy named Brett had a John Deere baler. He had a 316, if I remember right, baler, or maybe it was a 315. I can't remember. No, I think it was a 565. But then he had a Massey 12 there, and we got that going as well for him. There's a lot more Massey balers out there than I ever thought there was. But my truly favorite baler now, the last, I'm going to say 10 years, has been International. Because after I went and got training on how to work on the IH knotters from an Amish gentleman that actually worked at the factory, and he set these balers up, and it took me 15 minutes to learn how to work on an International knotter, shockingly. And I still remember the words he told me when I went to his place. And it's an Amish gentleman, so we had to write back and forth, obviously. And I had the International Blue Ribbon service manuals, and I bought them off eBay. I bought them off dealers, and I just trying to figure out how to do this. And I bought a 47 International. I could get it to tie, but I couldn't get it to tie consistently and very good. It would mess up. Of course, I had a kicker on it, so it would always throw broken bales all over the wagon. So just frustrated that And then, of course, you got your local guys that hate on international. You got your Deers and you got your New Holland guys and you got your Massey inlines. All that Balers are junk, and this and that. I said, there's no way a company produces, and I'm telling you, worldwide, international has a lot of balers out there. And for a machine to fail like that, like just produce really bad balers, and I just couldn't believe it was true. And so I went to this guy because they called him the Red Wizard for balers for international. So went there and he asked me, saw me carrying these books. He said, "What are you doing with those manuals, those IH Blue Ribbon Service manuals?" And I said, "Well, I wanted to write down reference points like what you tell me, and I'm going to write it down so I can think." And he says, "Well, how good did those books do for you?" I said, "Well, not very good. I mean, I had the operator's manual, I had the International Blue Ribbon Service Tech Manual, I had the dealership tech manual, and I had all those fancy tools, and it never really got the baler like really working the way I want, because I like to make, when I test the baler, I want to do that 65, 70 pound bale. And if it ties that, it'll tie any bale underneath that without an issue." And I told him, I says, "No, it didn't really get me where I wanted to go." He said, "What's it say at the bottom of every couple pages of your operator's manual and your and one tech manual that was sold that wasn't part of the dealership?" It said at the bottom, it said, "Contact your local dealer if you can't figure it out." He pretty much told me, this Amish gentleman told me that, you know what that owner's manual and that tech manual are good for? It's a sales brochure for the service department. He says they just want you to bring it in for them to fix. They will get you so close, you think you got it until you really put the machine through its paces, and they don't care. And they're just out about billing money out. And literally, he took me on the first job to work on the international baler, and 15 minutes showed me two adjustments, and that's it. And I was shocked. Here I'd spent all this time and all this money on these books, and what he showed me was nothing in the books, and it was way off of what they were telling you to do and what to adjust on an international. And so, guys, it's sad, but it's like the books will get us there, but not really cure the problem. So I'm here to tell you, I'm going to try to give you, I was blessed. Jesus really taught me well on how to work on these balers, and I'm trying to make, like I did the timing DVD for the John Deere balers. That one goes from a 336 to the 348s. It don't matter. You set it in those positions, that baler's in time. Now, there's a little variation timing. Like if you're baling really massive windrows, there's a little advanced timing on the feed forks to keep that bale perfectly square and in heavy amounts of material without doing a lot of feed fork position changes. And there's some timings I set on it, New Holland balers. So I've run into, the last 15 years, a lot of New Holland balers, the knotter shafts are soft. And believe it or not, they twist. And the timing marks, when you line them up, it really isn't lined up, because if you cycle it by hand, you'll see the plunger wanting to almost hit the needles as they're coming up with the timing marks lined up. And if you notice, if you check it out, sometimes I have to move them back or forward, and sometimes they'll be back behind the usually it's a hash or some three dots on there, forward or back, and I do my timing by sight. Like I have the chamber cleaned out and I trip it and I have someone roll the flywheel, and I look for that needle to go up past those extensions on that plunger, so all the hay's in front of that plunger without the needle getting touching any of it. So like I said, I got a little different way. I mean, timing marks are great, but for some reason, the New Holland knotter shafts, and it's not the later ones, it was the early ones. We're talking some 268s, 269s. I've seen 178 New Holland doing that. If you got a New Holland baler and you see it, the knotter jumping a little bit every time you're baling, I mean, it's a little bit to do with the brake and some play in the knotters, but a lot of it's to do, it's not quite perfectly in time. Like when it's cycled, the end of the knotter that stops on that paw is not timed right with the arm on the needles, because that's supposed to come down, and that's what locks in that straight arm position and holds the needles back along with the brake. But if that shaft twists a little bit, then it's not quite there, and you will see the knotters kind of jump a little bit, a lot. I've seen that with the John Deere 14Ts, guys. The brakes get rusty, or another thing it does, the brakes aren't holding it. Like you'll be baling, and the needles will just slide up into the chamber, bang, you snap a pin, And then you got to go back, pull the needles back. Remember, when you pull those needles back, it's got to feel like you're picking up 20 pounds, is what I tell you. If you grab that saddle, should be some resistance. You pull it back. The best test in the world on a 14T, unhook the linkage arm on the side, pull it right out, and the needles should stay right in their home position. Take your foot, push on them. It should take a little bit of force for you to push those needles forward. If they just fall in when you pull it out, you have to replace the brake pads or adjust them so they tighten in. That's not easy on a 14. 214s are better because they got the brake pad on the disc on the outside on the lift arm. 24Ts, I mean, a lot of guys, there wasn't even brake pads left on the disc itself. So, like I said, the needles being held back, you shouldn't never worry about replacing needles on your John Deere balers or New Hollands, but for that chance. Just, I tell the springs for a gentleman just asked, the 575, okay? A lot of guys have broke needles over the years, a lot of needles, 570, 575. Just so you know, that plunger stop spring is not the right spring from New Holland. It just does not work. So go to your local hardware store, find a spring with a little heavier coil and a shorter distance than the original factory spring. You're going to struggle to get it in there, but let me tell you what, you will not break another needle again, not unless there's an obstacle actually in the bale chamber. But many 575s had guys bailing along, high volume gentlemen that do a lot of acres and bust out 2 or 3 sets of needles a year. And, on a saddle, after you break the needle so many times, the saddle gets tweaked. And it's just easier to put a little shorter spring and a heavier spring on that plunger stop. And guys, and another thing, when that baler sets all winter, the first thing you need to check is reach underneath there, and the New Holland's got a cable, most of them do, and grab that cable and make sure that plunger stop is moving really freely. A lot of guys forget to grease that once in a while, or just spray some lube in it, and you want that thing flying out, stopping that plunger. That's the cheapest $3 or $2 or $3 shear bolt versus what now, $350 now for needles or more. And if you have to buy a saddle, you're going to be in that $800 range plus whatever labor's going to be involved. Same way it goes with the John Deere's, guys. Get better springs on your plunger stops, like the 336s and stuff. The rod runs up the side. Check your pivot points. Just make sure the spring's nice and good. It snaps in real good. The Massey's, the number 12s, I've noticed the springs have been breaking underneath them. Also, guys, make sure they're free. The plunger stops. It's the cheapest maintenance you can do, and you won't be seeing me, and you won't have too many problems with me. So, any questions about balers, guys? I see we got quite a few people on here. Ask anything. A gentleman asking about internationals. I'd love to see some questions come up. Maybe I can help you, maybe I can't. But if you need parts, or we're doing the tour coming up the second week in March. We're leaving New York and heading west. You can call or text 607-846-5959. That is the baler phone number. That is RNS Ag Service. So we carry a lot of aftermarket parts for New Holland, John Deere. I got some stuff for Massey's. I bought out an old dealership. I still have some new bill hooks for Massey Ferguson balers. Not the 124 or 120, guys. Those bill hooks went by the wayside quick when they start getting a little corroded inside, and that jaw doesn't want to stay shut when you're tying a bale. But please comment, what's your favorite baler? I mean, like I said, over the years, I was John Deere, New Holland, and I do like Oliver's. One fact I can tell you is I've never sold one knotter half for an Oliver baler. I don't think I've even sold a bill hook for an Oliver baler. I have lots of Oliver knotters and pieces and parts, but of all the balers out there, really don't have any trouble with the Olivers. I had a 60T I bought when I was 24. I bailed with it for like 3 years, and then went up to the 62T, and then graduated into a 620. And then I finally got my hands on a 720, which is the same as the Heston 5400. Great balers. And then, like I said, I got some weird balers in my collection. I get to work on some really weird stuff, but I have yet to work on a cock shut. That would be, I can't remember the model number. It looks like a 77, like a hay press. So I don't know who made it for them or what, but I got to work on the Arthur Young baler down in Gordonville, Pennsylvania. What a treat. Baler was not really set up for baling hay. It was more set up for baling straw. The pickup head, it's just, you see it's a canvas with wooden slats. It would bring the hay up, and it just, the straw would flow right up nice. The hay would not. It would follow the slats around and wrap around the shafts. And I don't know how many times them poor Amish guys down there were rebuilding that part of the pickup head on it. But as far as the knotters, they're no different than the 76 and the 73 and all them. I mean, they're pretty much identical balers. Other than that, this one here was the actual one of the Arthur Youngs with Ed Knoll was involved with that put the knotters onto. So it's quite a unique design. It's kind of nice to be part of that history down there in Pennsylvania. Really proud people. Like them a lot. Does anybody have any questions for their balers? I answered some questions for a gentleman on an international. If you guys have a question on New Holland, John Deere, let's go ahead and ask away. I'm here. Maybe I can help you, maybe I can't, but at least I can put you in the right direction. And trust me, every year, everybody thinks, 34 years, I know it all. No, I do not. Every year, I run into a dozen balers that stump me for quite a while until I figure them out. I don't give up. It's kind of tough sometimes. I mean, I choke down a lot of dust. Sometimes I'm riding a baler trying to figure out why it does what it does. But you can run plastic twine in any baler. If your baler doesn't like plastic, you got something out of adjustment. And a lot of times with balers, guys, if you got a knot sticking on the bill hook, and everybody thinks it's because their wipers not wiping across the bill hook or something like that. No, it's not. It's your knife. If your knife is dull and that wiper arm goes to pull that knot off that bill hook, okay, if I'm holding a piece of string and you got a dull knife and you push on that string, you know what that does? That just pulls tighter and it pulls the knot tight on the bill hook. If that knife is like razor sharp, it barely touches the string and cuts it, it's going to drop right off instantly. And the knot's going to be loose and it'll tighten up as the bale expands out the back. Now, I've had guys put new knives in their balers, okay? And they were having problems with their like older New Hollands and John Deere's. And they put a new knife in and now they're getting two pieces of string with a partial loop in them. Well, guess what that is? That means your bill hook is wore out. That means the jaw between the bill hook is shot. Because what happens is, because the knife now is cutting the string really fast, and the string, because the bill hook closes, is supposed to pinch those inner two strings. Well, after a while, that inner jaw piece gets wore, and the string just slides through. And as the wiper arm's going across, it can't pull the loops through quick enough to lock the knot onto the thing. So you'll get like, if you get like really short tails on your bales, that's a good sign the bill hook's wore. Very, very bad, the jaw of it. Just replace the bill hook, guys. We got aftermarkets. They're a lot cheaper than the dealer. And everybody's like, oh, do I need plastic bill hook stuff? I've not seen it. I mean, the plastic bill hook's nice because if you're going to handle the bale a bunch of times, the bill hook's got more of a kind of a squared corners on it. So when the plastic slides off, it kind of crimps the plastic so it doesn't slide through itself. But if the bill hook's brand new, it's going to pull long tails through and you're going to be fine. But remember, running plastic, it's going to cut harder, and you need to either put a nice edge on your knives. I recommend a Dremel. Does a nice job putting an edge on a knife. Or just put replacement knives. We now have replacement knives for the John Deere wiper arms, all the way from the 14T up to the 347s. A lot of those wiper arms started coming out with the replacement blades. But we offer a replacement blade for the 14T on up. And same way with the New Hollands. We offer replacement blades for those wiper arms. So you don't have to, if your roller's good on your wiper arm and the wiper arm's functioning, but the blade's just dull, we got a replacement blade for you. So once you grind the rivets off, punch them out, we got new bolts, little tiny bolts you can put in there and update that knife. And it makes life so much easier when you got a way to change the blade out in the field without having to like literally take it back to your shop and work on it. Does anybody have any questions on balers? So I'm enjoying this. I've been on for a half hour now. I didn't think I would enjoy this as much, but I made a promise to some friends of mine that I would give this a shot to try to help people out. How's it going? Hey, brother, how are you? I'm doing pretty good. This is kind of awkward for me. This is a first. I never done live video before. I've always talked to people on the phone. I've always worked on their machines in person, and a lot of people send me videos, and I can do a lot of work off of videos, or we do FaceTime, help you fix your baler. I can't be everywhere, but I can try my best. Does anybody got any questions on balers or square balers? I do round balers. It's kind of hard on the round balers and stuff to diagnose them. A lot of those is electrical issues. Seeing more and more of that. And guys, there's no model out there of the last 6 years that's better than anybody else. Roto. Whoa, the old roto baler. Wow. Yeah, I haven't touched one of those twine arms in quite a long time. I have rolled up some twine to fit in the original tube, but live stream before and honest hosted a few. It's a lot of fun after the first. Yeah, well, I'm admit this is getting better. The roto baler. Wow, that brings back memories. Yeah, I had a gentleman. This is back. I want to say 2002. I had to go work on his roto baler, and the arm would not travel all the way across. And I want to say it was a weak spring on it, and I'd lube it up. We have 10, you know. Is Roger going to be in trouble over this or what? Beginning to feel like it's more of a confession than it is a baler session. So 10 balers, that's not a lot. I have 38. So I've been selling off a few of my balers. Can't believe it or not, I'm selling off most of my John Deeres. There's a lot of people that enjoy them. I don't get to use them all year. I try to take them to farm shows, and my son absolutely loves the internationals. So, hate to say it, guys, the green paint wore off me, and I'm going now more with the red paint. So, and not just New Holland red, international. I really like the balers are built really well. I haven't seen a cheap design in them. I just think they kind of skimped on the knotters itself on the twine disc, the twine tension plate, and the knife. Well, you're welcome. 430, yes. Well, it wasn't just me. It was just adjustments. Like I tell everybody, these balers are all designed to work. I mean, they really didn't design a bad baler out there. I mean, there's the 27 and the 420 International get a bad rap because of the feed system, but the knotters are still international. They're pretty decent knotter. The McCormick 45, the Time More. Yes, it is. Knotter update kit, or just change the knotters out, and you can put a. I think I remember doing the neighbors, and we put 37 knotters on there, but we had to use one of the cams from the original 45 to get the spacing right, because it had a longer. I think it had a longer shank on that one. Longer like casting stem on the one knotter cam that drove the outside knotter towards the heavy side of the baler. But yeah, you can. I mean, the knotter update kit helps a lot with that. Remember, the 45 baler really loves being at like 350 to 400 RPM. Don't know why. You try to speed them up, and it's just they don't like speed very well. But I got a lot of guys that run them a little slower, and we put some update kits in them, and man, they can crank out some bales with them. But that baler's not really noted for being high capacity. I mean, you're better off getting yourself a 55 or 56, which that's what my wife has. She absolutely loves that baler, or a 57. So there's an auction coming up, guys, in Columbus Junction, Iowa. I'm waiting for a date. Is Roger Howe is his museum. He passed away, a good friend of mine. I'm really going to miss him, but he has a lot of international balers. So I'm going to let you all know something. Anybody that buys a baler from him, you pay for me to get there. There's no charge for labor, and you buy the parts. And I will fix that baler so it's ready to go. Because he bought a lot of balers, and there's a lot of balers at that auction. So in loving memory of Roger Howe, I myself, BALERMAN, will come. You just cover my fuel to get there. No charge for labor. You buy the parts, and I will fix that baler. Anybody that buys a baler that's at Roger Howe's sale. And he's in Columbus Junction, Iowa. I posted a video of his museum. I'll probably put one up here soon. And it's just, he's a great guy. I think he had a heart attack and died. I'm going to miss him. He actually wanted me to stop out and work on a couple more of his balers for him. He's got a great international tractor collection there. It'd be nice for anybody on Hay Baler Nation to end up with a few of his pieces. I think he's got close to 15 international balers, maybe 16 there. I don't really know the auction service. I'm going to post it as soon as it comes up. Bill Stockman lives in Oxford, Iowa, which is like an hour and a half north of Columbus Junction, Iowa, but it's right along the main drag in Columbus Junction. If you go through the town, you can't miss it. You'll drive, if you're driving heading east, you'll see it on the right. It's next to a New Holland dealership there. They have a lot there, like a used equipment lot. He's right next door to there, and there's all kinds of international tractors and pickers and corn planters and balers, and there's all kinds of stuff laying right along the road. It's gonna be interesting because I've got a few balers there I might buy, but if I find out that somebody's on Hay Baler Nation bidding on one, I'm not gonna bid against you. I think these machines need to find good homes. It's just a shame that Roger really never. We fixed a couple, and it's just he didn't have enough storage space, so some of them still sat outside. But at least we cleaned the hay out of them, so they got cleaned out. But it'd be nice if some people bought these and gave them a good home, and like I said, and I'll help you get them back to the way they're supposed to be. But like I said, most of them we've gone through, but there was a couple balers in the shop that I hadn't gotten to because it was buried. I'll probably post that video here in a couple weeks. When I first stopped and got to meet Roger, he was really good. Yeah, the auction's going to be amazing. There's a lot of, like, if you're looking for international engine rebuild kits, he must have hundreds of them in there. And he's got some really rare international 350 tractor propanes, and I think they got like 200 hours on them, maybe less. They got fenders, fast hitches, and they're a propane series, and they look absolutely like brand new. So Roger Howe was his name, and it's in Columbus Junction, Iowa. It's going to be a pretty awesome sale. I don't think he has anything there but international, but I could be wrong because he had a lot of stuff parked all over the place over there. And I know last time we were out, he had one shed, the post broke, and the shed came down on top of some tractors, but didn't hurt any of the little tractors. A couple of the big ones got their stacks bent, but I don't think it's going to affect the performance of them at all. I think you could fix some tin work. But like I said, it's going to be a big sale. I'm hoping they're doing internet, and I don't have to be there in person because I like to plan a trip out there because I want people to be able to buy the balers at the auction and get them home and tell me what's going on. Yeah, Roger Howe. Yep. Roger, and then Howe is Howe. Roger Howe Museum. As far as collection. Yeah, Rachel wants a 57 International. There's one out there, so yeah, we're looking at it pretty hard. It's a wire tie. Doesn't bother me, wire or twine. International had a very good, very, very good wire knotter on their baler. The Loki twist, very good, very simple to adjust. It does have a few high wear points, but other than that, I mean, nothing you can't weld up, grind back down, and polish up again, and that knotter's back in shape. So they're a great baler. If I'm just trying to complete our international collection for ourselves. I think he was. I'm positive Roger Howe was in the Red Power magazine. He had bought a lot of Wheatland Internationals, and guys, forgive me, I don't really get into the international tractors that much. I own a Farmall 200. That is my test tractor. That's got a fast stitch on it. It makes it easy for me to hook on balers. Like I can lift them up and down. I don't need a jack. And it's just an all-around great test machine for testing all the balers I run. Obviously, I can't run my round balers with them, but it does great with all the square balers. Doesn't matter what model. That tractor's always been able to run them and put them through their paces. So, and I also have a Farmall M now. We just took the corn picker off it. So, and for my son, I'm going to get it ready for him when he's old enough. And he's going to be able to do tractor pulling with it. So got a wide front end coming for it. Evan Goodrich, hope you're watching. He's supposed to bring it down to me, and then I'm slowly piece it together, I guess. But I do have a new job venture, so when I get done with this tour, I'll probably do one tour a year. So phone was very handy. Yeah, very true. But I'm going to be working at a dealership in Vestal, New York. It's on Old Vestal Road. A friend of mine bought a dealership, so I will be working there to help straighten it out. If you guys want to come meet me, greet me, whatever, I'll be there. I'm nothing special. I'm the same person you are. God blessed us all with the great ability to have a gift that's great for everybody. I'm willing to share this one with anybody. If you want to come learn how to do balers, I'm not going to say no to you. God gave us the Bible, which is the greatest thing ever. He never charged us for it. Imagine if he charged for it, a lot of us would be in trouble. So then the great knowledge he's given me on the ability to fix and repair this stuff is beyond belief, a gift that I can never actually repay. Thank him every day for it. And I'm just really grateful for all the people out there that you guys listen. And I've run into so many great people on my travels. A lot of you guys have brought me tears to my eyes because there's situations of desperation. The gentleman south of Knoxville, I mean, I can't wait for this summer when he bails. I mean, he's got doubts because he had to bail to 4 dealerships, couldn't figure it out, run up thousands and thousands of dollars in parts. And we get there, and I picked out the problem without even getting like really close to the baler. Showed him what was wrong. We fixed it, put some new parts on it, and it tied flawlessly, and it's just really good. It's John Deere baler, and I don't dare say anything because, like he said, the proof is going to be in when he goes to the field and starts bailing with it, because he's always said it. Always, the dealers were able to get it to tie, but when he went to the field, it just broke down. So we'll have to give an update on that when he gets to the field, which in a couple more months. In Tennessee, he'll probably be baling hay again. So, has anybody else got any questions on balers? Any model, doesn't matter. I'll try to answer them. I had a gentleman just asking me questions about international balers. So, go ahead. You can ask anything, guys. Personal questions, I'll probably consider a baler that's out of whack can give cause to create a new baler. Yeah, if I had a swear jar, I can tell you this right now, my kid would be going to Harvard free and clear. So, I probably got to learn to clean it up because he is 3 and he's probably going to coming up on 3 and he's probably going to pick up on a lot of daddy's bad words. So, yeah, time to start cleaning myself up a little bit on that, kind of hold myself accountable. But yeah, if I had a swear jar, it'd be full, a lot of full. I'd probably retire by now. So, any questions, guys? There's really all balers set up. They're all really good. New Hollands. Now remember, we have the updated aluminum tines that carry the hay farther across the bale chamber. Kind of helps stop the banana bale problem. But my favorite baler for stopping banana bales is the New Holland Super 77 or the 77. Pretty much any baler with an auger in it that New Holland built makes a brick bale. Literally, it's just a great baler. The reason those balers last so long is they were built out of great steel, and the baler was built to last. The knotters are on the side, the needles are on the side. What a great design. All your chaff and stuff falls off the knotters so it doesn't build up. Looking for the chamber reinforcements for a 47 baler. They are used when running a thrower. I have not seen a pair of those. I have seen people weld angle iron inside the bale chamber to help with the thrower, but I have not seen the brace pieces, unless you're talking the one that goes from the outside pickup wheel all the way over to the hitch and the bale chamber. Then yes, I probably have a couple, more than likely. Sorry, I'm laying inside where it's really nice and warm. I'm actually getting warm finally. I was out in the cold for quite a while. Gentleman tonight stopped in, was looking at some John Deere balers, and he's going to try to make a mini baler. So everybody cross your fingers, because if he does it and he gives out the plans of how he does it, then everybody will be able to make a miniature baler. I don't think so. I, I I'll have to ask my friend Bill Stockman. I was not informed if he did. And I know he sold some stuff privately. Roger Howe, but I don't think he had an auction. I know Bill Stockman, he sold his whole Baylor collection many years ago. So, oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. If you got that, please share that link with me. Inclusive. I will have to do some checking on that. There's a the gentleman I told you down in, I think he's in either Kentucky or Tennessee. He has lots of old red Baylor parts. Like he has international tractor parts, everything. I'll have to ask him about that kit. You got me intrigued now because I don't recall if I've ever saw it, but I wasn't really paying attention for it because most of the time when people call me, it's usually um, to actually work on the knotters, install new needles, saddle. We were working on, so everybody knows, we were working on getting new needles made for international and saddles. We now offer a saddle for a 56, 57 Baylor. I'm getting ready to try to get made the 37, 47, 46. So it'd be interesting. I mean, it's a slow process, guys. I'm not independently wealthy to be able to like keep dumping lots of money into these projects, but I'm doing it slowly as I can. I'm hoping that when my kids come up that they can jump in on some of these older machines and keep offering parts for them. We just got to all work together. I mean, try not to let Baylors go to the scrapyard because once they're gone, all those parts that were available are gone too. Everybody gets excited when they see these kids do, like they see a parts Baylor and they're like, oh boy, go take it to the junkyard. The problem is when you do that, all those usable parts that were left on it are gone. You know, that leaves other guys like us hunting for parts that we can't find. Or if we do find them, we're going to pay the premium for them. So, I mean, as long as you clean the hay out of a Baylor, it lasts a while. Let's look for Roger Howe's auction online. Reduction auction last year. Okay, well, I don't know. Boy, you guys surprised me with that one. I did not know he had a reduction auction sale. But now that he's passed away, I know the wife has talked to Bill Stockman and mentioned to him that they're going to sell everything. I think this coming spring. I'm surmising it's probably going to be March, April. So I'll probably be out in that area. So if it's that close and I know it's coming to it, I will probably go to the auction. So see a few more people got on. Has anybody got any questions about your square Baylor? Any problems? Anything I can answer? If my wife Rachel's still watching, she can bring me a bottle of water would be awesome. Starting to get dry mouth a little bit. The heat is quite hot up here. I was freezing when I started this. Now I'm getting quite warm. See a few questions coming up. Yes, I'm actually having a very good night. This is new to me. So every Sunday, I'm going to do this probably right around 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I'll see what the guys in Australia have to offer. 428.22. Wow, that's news to me. Does it have a listing of what was sold? It'd be interesting to see what Roger Howe actually sold off in that auction. Has anybody got any? I see you've got quite a few more people popped on. Anybody else got any questions on the square Baylors? I'm seeing a couple more questions come up. Excuse me. Oliver Baylor's my personal favorite Oliver. I don't know. I like all Oliver Baylors pretty much. If I had to pick one, I really fell in love with the 60T, I guess. Awesome site. Okay. Can you post a link for that here for everybody to go see? The address on that auction, because I'm pretty sure they had it at his place, that will be the same place they probably sell the rest of the farm machinery. Now, he's got combines and everything that are inside that building. Yeah. Yeah. Sad day for sure. I was out of town. I was, I think I was down south when that happened. I wasn't sure. I don't know what state I was actually in, if it was Virginia or Maryland, but I was in one of them. Patch Hedrick's on here, is he? Big shout out to Patch. Well, it almost be Patch ain't on here. Well, we're coming up on an hour now. My next sessions will be, I will have the Baler phone in my hands, so I'll have people actually can call in. If you have any parts needs or questions at any time, you can text or call 607-846-5959. That is RNS Ag Services phone number. It's a cell phone now, so you could actually text your pictures, ask questions. We'll try to get to you as soon as we can. If you need quotes on parts, remember everybody's having trouble getting parts because it's just inventories are way down, and there's quite a demand out there right now. Especially with haying season coming up, everybody's prepping right now. I've been doing a few rebuilds here and there. But like I said, if you have any questions, you can reach me there. I usually try to answer the phone a couple times a day. So if you catch me, one guy says from Arizona, I got to talk with a baler man. I'm not anything special, guys. I'm just good at fixing balers. So the phone number for the business again is 607-846-5959. Again, that is 607-846-5959. And that is a cell phone number, so you can call in, or you can send text message pictures to that phone number, and bear with the girls, and they'll get back to you as soon as they can. We do get a lot of texts and phone calls during the day. Bear with us, please. If everybody knows, it's hard to find good help, so we're trying to tackle it all of ourselves. Has anybody else got any questions? Thanks for the stream and info. It's been good talking to you. I'll copy down your number. Yeah, do that. Like I said, if you're calling from different countries, please share it. Hey Rachel, I could use a bottle of water, please, if you got a minute. I'm glad my wife is watching me. It must be to see if I talk about how wonderful she is, which she is. She does a great job with the kids, and she's also a fond lover of International 56 balers. She loves that model, and I tried to sell it, and she bought it and owns it now, so I can't sell it on her no more. And my son absolutely loves our International 50T. So that is, Wisconsin can be different country at times. Well, send me your address. I am going through Wisconsin, so somebody on this trip I'm taking, and this is my paying it forward with God. Somebody on this trip doesn't know it yet, but they're gonna get a surprise. So somebody on the trip, when I go out and fix balers, and it's gonna be random, is gonna get a baler repair on me. So that means that probably all it costs is me driving to you and no labor charge at all. I'm going to try to do it to quite a few people because it makes me feel good. And if it wasn't for the high price of fuel, I'd be doing a lot, cheaper travel times, but everybody knows what stuff costs. And I try to make it reasonable. And my family comes with me. So my wife and my two kids, they ride right along in the RV with me. And I guess they call it the Balermobile, we got to call it. It's been good. Wish I'd bought an RV sooner. I had a fifth wheel. It's not as convenient. The RV is definitely way better, way easier with the kids and the wife, and being able to use the bathroom, like just pull off and use it instead of have to get out of the truck and go back. But does anybody? I see some more people got on. Has anybody got any questions about any make or model of baler? Is there anybody out there that's still running a Super 77? Yeah, well, there's a joke with that, my friend. My wife likes to tell everybody, my wonderful wife Rachel, she kind of calls it a vacation, but it's not for me. I work, but I do love Baylor's. It's a great thing when you get to do something you love and make a living at it and enjoy it a lot and enjoy the people you meet. And I said, I'm here to teach you guys. All the gentlemen that taught me about Baylor's, and there's only a couple of them that are still alive, and they taught me everything I knew, and I'm passing it on. And I'm going to do more and more videos. So this Christmas coming up, there's going to be two things are going to happen. I'm going to do a John Deere Nodder DVD video, and we usually charge for that, to help people put their Nodders back together. You, for Christmas, are going to get free access to that video all day long for Christmas to New Year's. I'm also going to do a video on New Holland Nodders. But guys, if you realize something, the adjustments for New Holland to John Deere are the same. The tolerances are the same. If I have the cam gears and I modify them correctly, the nodder shaft size is the same. I can put New Holland Nodders on a John Deere, or I can put John Deere Nodders on a New Holland. One is not better than the other. So, and that argument right there, just some Nodders get wore out faster than others. Depends on maintenance. The only balers I've never sold Nodders for is Oliver. And there's a lot of Oliver balers still baling out there, thousands and thousands of bales, and still not having issues. So I don't ask me why the Olivers last so long, but they definitely did something very right with that Nodder design. Is there anybody here that logged on? I see a bunch of people. I have a 46, use it just for fun, the nostalgia. Chance I've ever seen a newer bill hook. Hold on a sec, I gotta read this. I've never seen a newer bill hooks again. There's new ones. There's new bill hooks out there. They're not cheap. The problem is I'm gonna order one and I'm gonna see if I can send it overseas and see if we can get a bunch of them made, because I think asking $400, I think it's $350 or $400 for a bill hook is a little ridiculous. I probably have some good used ones. I mean, I have a bunch of international Nodders. I mean, I keep robbing pieces out of them, obviously, as people break stuff. But I can get you new bill hooks, but I can probably only save you maybe 20% at the dealer for them, and I won't charge anything and just ship them to you. But yeah, new bill hooks would be a big plus. I mean, if it's still tying good, you got a blessing in disguise there. But the 46 is a really good baler. I just don't have much trouble with them at all. I see a couple more people logged on. Is there anybody else that needs any advice on balers, any parts help? Thank you. This is different. I've never really trying to adjust with this camera here. Okay. I'm looking at all the message. A Massey 124 Nodder, yes, I have. There's another one on there. Hang on. Live chat. Did Ollie design their own Nodders? Yes, they did, actually. I think they copied. I mean, everybody does copy, but on the gentleman with the 124 Massey, what's your question on the Nodder? A lot of the trouble with them is keeping a sharp knife in them. And inside the bill hook, there's a tunnel in there with a spring in it. That corrodes in there because it gets hot and cold, penetrating oil down the center of it. But you probably got to free the spring up. But those bill hooks are not cheap to buy for the 124. 120 and 124 are the same. Same Nodders. They do like plastic better than sisal. I mean, if sisal's decent strength, it'll be fine, but my favorite Nodder for Massey's is literally the number 3, number 9, number 10, number 12. Great knotter system. Pretty simple to maintain. Simple adjustments on it. Um, some of my Canadian friends up there are gonna be proud of me because I'm bragging up their Massey balers. So, congrats, guys! You guys got a decent baler, but my heart is still leaning towards the Red Internationals because they are built that well. They're really rugged balers. If any of you guys buy one, don't be afraid of it. They're a great baler. They really are. It just takes some patience to get them fine tuned in, and then they're really good for a long time after that. It's But another 50 years, I'm telling you, there's still gonna be international balers around. A lot of the green ones will be rotted out, wore out. A lot of the red ones, New Holland, will be rotted out and gone. Oliver, I don't think will be all gone because there's a lot of them out there. That's for sure. Any other questions? Trying to figure out how to um, live chat. I'm trying to figure out this thing. It's starting to put the chats up for me. The bale skis. Seeing an improvement on that. Do you have any IH baler knotters adjustment tools? No, I don't. I had one and I gave it away because the gentleman that trained me in Illinois told me I didn't need it. And so far, I haven't. I mean, they're supposed to gauge between the twine disc and the bill hook and stuff. Well, the real secret is on the internationals is the twine disc timing and the knife adjustment, the shim in it. Okay, that tool would probably help a little quicker with that. But remember, if the knotter gets wore, the tool's really pointless because once castings wear and you get worm gear wear, you're not going to be precise adjustment no matter what you do. So that's why you shim your knife, and that's why you adjust it and shim it so you're cutting one string and you're leaving the one that pulls out through the twine tension plate on the back. So it's touch and go, but the bale skis, they've shown to be really helpful to balers. So a set of bale skis, I know they're pricey, guys, but Patch Hendricks is great salesman for bale skis. You get a hold of him. I'm pretty sure I'm going to talk to him, see if he can give you guys a discount, since you guys all know the BALERMAN. Patch is on Hey Kings, I think Mid Atlantic. I think that's one he's on. He's in Hey Baler Nation, so if you just touch Patch Hendricks and say, hey, I need a price on some bale skis, and say, hey, the BALERMAN said you might be able to do a little better on the price, then he'll probably work with you. Let's see here. I got another message. Let me tell you how to figure that out. Copying that gauge. There's a lot of people asking for it since I posted a video about it. Probably, I could probably get back the old tool that I have and send it to you, and you can make them. But realistically, you ask anybody that fixed their baler, I don't need a tool. And I mean, I literally the guy that showed me 15 minutes. That's it. And the all twine otter is different, obviously, and there's no tool for that. That's you do that out of the book, or I don't really use the book. I just go by simple, eye adjustments on that one. And I tell everybody, if you have one otter that's tying and one that isn't, copy the one that does work to the one that doesn't. And it usually works fine because remember, internationals don't have tucker fingers. They don't have wiper arms. The tucker finger's mounted stationary, so it's a totally different and simple knotter. There's a twine disc and a bill hook. That's it. Pretty simple machine. But bale skis, back to that, I would highly recommend them. They take wear off your bale chamber. They make nicer bales. Makes the baler work a lot easier. Just make sure before you put them in, rebuild your plunger, put new bearings on it. Because if you go to pull the plunger out, you got to take the bale skis back out. And Patch is also good at installing them as well. So if you talk to Patch, he'll say the bale skis, and if you're not too far away from him or if he's in the area, he'll help you install them. So, any other questions out there, guys? Yeah, bale skis, we put them in the big square balers. They take a lot of wear off the chamber. So it just like they put plastic liner in dump trucks to help make the boxes last longer. Same principle. The bale skis just on the New Holland balers help with bale formation a lot. So if you're getting like different bale lengths on the 570, 575s, when you're baling, trying to push them a little bit, the bale skis are going to help you. You're going to knock out better form bales and better bale lengths. I have a lot of people put skis in the small square. Yeah, it's not a bad investment. I mean, just if you're only baling a few thousand bales a year, bale skis probably aren't going to help you much. I mean, but if you're baling a lot of hay, or if your bales are just ugly, bale skis are going to help. But remember, a lot of reason a bale's ugly is because you're not getting the hay in the right spot in the bale chamber for the plunger to compress it. So, wow. Really enjoying this, guys. I didn't think I would, but I'm really enjoying this. Please share this video, everybody. Send some more people to subscribe. I'm going to continue to do these live videos. I'm going to practice probably every night this week. If you guys want to come join me, that's fine. If you got other questions for me, I'm hoping to be able to, on Sundays, have my business cell phone number and work from there. Well, if it's an international. So this is my opinion. I mean, there's a lot of guys that don't like augers. But I'm telling you, for bale consistency and a nice squareness, augers really work. They work well. I have nothing wrong with the New Holland sweep feeds. If you got the extension tines in the front and they're curved, and you can get them placed, and it all goes off the tractor operator. A lot of guys will pick up their ground speed, slow their PTO speed down, and New Hollands will square the bales up pretty nice, real nice. The 575s, there's some feeder fork adjustment you can do, but like I said, bale skis really help those balers out a lot, especially with the length of the bales. Like if you're using a bale bearing, you want bale skis in your baler. That's all there is to it. Now, if you have an Arcusin, you ain't got to worry about it because they really don't care if your bale's 4 inches longer or 4 inches shorter. And I mean, it'll still bundle it just the same. But the bale bearing does not like that inconsistency at all. Anybody else got any other questions? I saw some more new people jumped on. Give everybody a minute to type in their answers or questions. There's nothing special to me, guys. I'm not this magic guy that walks around and I can wave a wand and fix something. Look at this comment. I had a 269 with a sweep feed. Not impressed. Yeah, so this is the problem, okay? There's a lot of people that fell in love with if you remember New Holland after the 77, which was a remarkable baler. I mean, they made 69,000 77s. I think it was 28 or 24,000 Super 77s. And they went to, because the problem is there's a bulletin board. I'm going to put it up on my website as soon as I find it in my paperwork. New Holland actually put out a bulletin inside the company that said they were going to go out of business because the 77 baler, the basic 77, and I don't know if you guys all know this or not, that baler is a non-timing baler. Is like if the chain falls off the knotter, you put it back on, the baler times itself. There's no need to time it. So guess what? You eliminate a lot of mechanics. If your baler's timed perfect, a 77 New Holland, basic 77, is a non-timing baler. Yeah, it looks intimidating because it's a big machine, but it's not. And now, like I said, the Wisconsins, yeah, they're getting, age on them, but you could simply unbolt that and bolt yourself on a Predator engine that's 22 horsepower. It'll run that baler fine. The Amish even run some Vanguard, Briggs & Strattons. They have kits to put them on there. If you go to do a Wisconsin, be warned, they are not cheap to work on, but remember, that baler motor is lasting 70 years, So, in its that self is pretty impressive. So to go that long, some of them have been overhauled, some of them haven't. So, but the 77 New Holland, everybody goes, why do you like it so much? Why do you push it? Because it's a non-timing baler. Yes, there was. Bill Stockman owned 2 of those. He found them in Wisconsin, to be exact. He dragged him to Oxford, Iowa. If you look up, I wish I remember the year of his auction, but I'll have to look it up and let everybody know. He had two PTO Drive 77s. Now, you could take a PTO Drive off a Super and you can drill the holes in the frame and add it to a 77. But I mean, there's really no need to, because I mean that baler is pretty simply run. I do offer brand new knives for that baler now, and I do have the slides for that baler. So the knotters haven't changed. So knotters off a 66 are the same as a 77. So, but the 77 baler is a non-timing baler. So if you're not mechanically inclined, that is like the best baler to own, because you don't have to be a rocket scientist to work on it. It literally only not works when something's broke. So you can change the part and keep going. The weak link of the 77 balers is probably the pickup head. It's a continuous running chain with bars on it. So if anybody out there runs into the problem, the pickup head, like it gets wore, worked on a 78. Oh, God, yes. That's a 16 by 18 bale chamber, and that is a hay-eating monster. You want to know one that's even bigger than that one for capacity, besides some of the others, is a 99 New Holland. It is like a 78 New Holland on steroids. It makes a 19 by 24-inch bale, 3 strings or 3 wires on the bale. Isaac Duraloo in Sioux City, Iowa, owns the one that I had bought in Oxford, Iowa, towed it home to Waverly, New York, fixed it, got it baling, took it out to Isaac, and he went through it some more and totally rebuilt the baler, painted it and everything. I think I put a video on Hay Baler Nation of it. Great baler, high capacity. But the baler was never made PTO. I made it PTO. So the tongue could have been longer, and I could have put a telescope in PTO, but I just put a 2-piece on it, which is fine as long as you don't turn super sharp. But if there's anybody on here, the reason this video is up is for you to ask questions about your baler or any baler that you have. If you're asking for a neighbor, if you need the information, or if you need parts, our business phone is 607-846-5959. You can send a text message to that, because that's also a cell phone now, which makes it great because you can send pictures of your broken baler or broken part, and the girls don't have to guess at what you actually need for your baler. So that phone number again is 607-846-5959. And like sometimes you might be able to catch me, because I do answer the phone. Well, from time and time again, I'm being told that I'm supposed to eat. I'm not going to eat. I'm enjoying these fine people on here. I see there's a couple more people jumped on. If there's anybody else that needs baler advice, round baler, square baler, big square, if you got questions about what to do with your baler, we still offer the updated pickup teeth for the John Deere balers, the 14s, the 24Ts, and the 336. They got the curves in the end, just like the New Hollands do. And when you're baling, it doesn't kick the hay forward. It actually pulls it into the head. It actually increases the capacity. One of my friends said 30%. I would say a good 20% capacity increase. You should be able to gain another gear with a 24T or 14T easily with this. And these teeth fit the 216, the 214, the 224. We have them for the 336, 346. And it just eliminates, if you had a John Deere baler and you're baling second cutting, you know what it's like. It's kicking it forward, and it makes 2 windrows. There's my stroke with Sissel. Let me look again here. Hang on. I got to figure out how to get the chat window to stay up on it. I use my 46 with Sissel. It reminds me of what they used to years ago. There is a good Sissel twine out there. Curved tine for the 47. The 47s are slightly curved if you buy the actual factory 47 pickup teeth. But back to the Sissel twine. There's Dutchman Harvest. It's in New Holland, Pennsylvania. It's actually outside Gordonville, Pennsylvania. If you guys aren't baling a lot of hay, I'll be coming that way out west, or I could ship it to you. It'll cost you a little bit of shipping, but seems to have pretty decent Sissel. But I tell everybody, I mean, you should be able to get plastic now, as long as you do the knotter update, put sharp knives in there. Any baler will run plastic. The myth of changing the bill hook. It's just a myth, folks. I mean, you can dial the baler in. I mean, my 77's all tie plastic easily. A lot of the times when you switch to plastic, and guys will say, oh, it's sticking on the bill hook or it won't pull through, is a lot of times you're buying the Tractor Supply or the cheap plastic, which is the 9110 or 130. That stuff is piano wire. Unless you got brand new bill hooks, brand new twine discs, it won't hold up. Make a twine heavier than I thought. Yes, they do. 7200. I actually carry that twine. It's called trucker's twine. It's actually made for kicker balers. So this shocks a lot of people. They buy 9,000 baler twine. Remember, they took it off the package now, but 5 years ago it said right on the package, not recommended for kicker balers, like thrower balers, because it'll tie the bale, but when your thrower throws it into the wagon, it compresses the hay and lets it spring back out again, and sometimes the string's not heavy enough to take that shock load and the bale breaks. Or a lot of guys just think it's the knotter missing when it isn't. It's actually the poor quality of twine, which sisal twine, if you guys have all noticed, is got thick and thin spots in it. You get done putting it in your baler, there's a pile of fuzz in the bottom of your twine boxes. It's just, it never used to be this way, but they're getting away with it because they can, you know, and they also charge good money for it. Plastic's like a quarter, well, probably half the price now. And remember, people, plastic is recyclable, okay? There's not an issue with it. You should be able to put in your recycling bin. I think it's number 2. Let's make a tight enough bale to pick up with the bale. Yes. So if you want to go to plastic, I would recommend a 9600 210. Or if you want to go really tight bales, 6000 240. So the numbers on the baler twine, so everybody understands this. So you got lots of baler twine out there. So you got yourself 9,000. You see sisal just says 9,000. They don't even put the knot strength on it anymore because they're kind of embarrassing because some of them it's pretty low. But plastic does. So you'll go to Tractor Supply and you'll see 9,000. That's the footage. And the second set of numbers is 130. That means it's 130-pound knot strength, okay? It's really thin. It really hurts your hands. So the next jump up from that is I think it's Titan. And there's Tyrite. Tyrite is very good plastic twine so far. I haven't run into a bad batch. So their numbers go like this: 9600, 170. That's a lot thicker and a lot stronger than 130. They also offer a 9600, 190. So that's 9,600 feet between the 2 rolls because it's a double bundle. That's added together. That gives you 9,600 with 2 rolls. And the strength of it's 170 or 190. And then they offer 2 rolls in the 9600 210, or you can get 6,000 210. Now remember, when it says 6,000, that's 1 roll. So you need 2 rolls to do the job. But if you put 2 rolls in the box and there's 6,000 feet, you got 12,000 feet of twine in your baler to bale with for that day. And I recommend 210 for almost everybody because it's really nice on your hands. 240 is even nicer. But you got to have really sharp knives in your knotter to do it. Have you had good luck with the Titan 7200 sisal? I don't know. I don't think I've tested that one yet. I've touched the Dutchman, the 7200. It holds up good. But for the thickness of the sisal, if I go pop in 210, and I could pound out a 70-pound bale pretty conveniently, and the 7200 might hold up, and it might not. So just remember, people, when you're looking at baler twine, and I have a lot of people do this, they see 16,000 feet, and they try to stick it in their square baler. That their stuff is not only rated for like 90 test pounds of strength, and it's horrible. And I get a lot of calls out, my baler's missing, don't know why. Get there, and I pull it out, and it's round baler twine and a square baler. So the people at Tractor Supply are not knowledgeable on what belongs in your baler. So do your own homework, and I recommend Maynard's. They carry pretty decent twine. Rural King. I've run into a lot of good stores down south that carry good quality twine. Your co-op should carry decent twine. But remember, if you're going to plastic, you got to have good sharp knives on the wiper arm that cuts the knot, or on like Massey's and stuff. The 120s, 124s, you got to have good knives in those knotters as well to cut the plastic. So there's a few adjustments, but remember, if a baler's run sisal all of its life, the twine tension coming out of the box. If you take that plate off where the spring is, the tension, the twine, there's probably a little tunnel war in that. You put plastic in there, and that stuff just going to sail through there. And without the right amount of tension, it's just going to be really awful. So, yeah, sisal twine's been hit and miss for years. I mean, if you don't remember, there's a lot of farmers that swear by it. And it used to be clover twine was pretty decent, but I don't even know if they're even in business anymore. It's weird how these twine plants pop up and then disappear. With all this hemp being grown in the United States, why are we still paying $65 for a bundle of twine? Shouldn't it be like $15, $16 maybe? You know, it seems like farmers today, it's just like you guys are getting hit with higher parts prices, higher fuel, higher feed costs for your animals. But yeah, when you go to sell your product, nobody really wants to pay you nothing for it. So just remember, when you're working on that baler, nobody's there working on it with you. So always make sure you're charging enough that covers your time for what you're doing. If you enjoy doing it, more power to you. I got some people that bale hay and just donate it. They give it to people. I mean, it's your choice what you do in life. But just try not to hurt anybody else that's actually trying to make a living at it. Yeah, that's got sisal. That has got creosote in it. So if you look on the package, that 4200 stuff is probably from Cuba before we had our battle with Cuba, an argument with them. And I've had twine and balers that smelled like creosote, and that's what it's got in it. Rats won't chew it, and it doesn't rot very easy. And it's been in balers, and I'm telling you what, that is good twine. Very good twine. Because it's kind of laced with creosote. It's made in Cuba. But like I said, it's really good twine. It lasts. It holds the test of time. As I see a couple more people come on. Is there anybody that questions? Just type a comment in. I'll see it. I can pull it back up again now that I've figured out my adjustments on my phone. Forgive me. This is my first time doing this. A live chat session. So I'm going to practice all week. So yes, it does. It won't rot. I mean, the creosote twine, baler twine is pretty tough stuff. But I bet you if you look at the wrapper, it might not say on there, but it was made in Cuba. So anybody out there, how is your IH baler twine knife selling going? Well, pretty good, actually. Still, it's amazing. Right now, we've been selling 3 to 1. We're in the U.S. here. So every 3 kits goes to Europe to 1 sold in the United States. I am shocked at how many international balers are worldwide. And we keep, every couple months, we get a new country calls and orders the kit. So it's been really impressive how many IH balers are out there. And it just tells me that I need to start making some more parts for the international balers. I didn't think they were that popular, but over in Australia, I got some good friends over there. They own all internationals. And like I said, they want to keep these balers going. That's fine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Cuba. And there might have been some other countries. But the only time I see that kind of twine is, you have to remember, I see that stuff when I see it in an old baler I buy out of a barn that hasn't been out. Yes, they are. IH balers, folks, I hate to tell you this, they are an awesome baler. We're talking the 45s, I'll give or take them. They'll bale hay, but nothing like a 55, 56, 46, 37, 47, 57. Now remember, the 5 Series Internationals are industrial balers. They are made to bale a crap ton of hay. And like my wife's 56 International, the bale chamber is literally 1/4-inch steel thick. Really impressive baler, built heavy. It's got an I-beam for a plunger push arm. You know, it's just way over engineered, way overbuilt, and the thing's gonna last, I mean, 3-4 lifetimes easily. The thing I like about internationals is they're all gear drive. It's really hard to get one out of time unless a bearing goes bad and the gears jump time. But anybody else? Any questions? Knotters, string, but plastic twine, folks. Don't be afraid to put it in. If you need parts or stuff. 71. Yes, I did. I actually had some pictures I was gonna post up. The guy did an awesome job on that restoration. That was impressive. Yeah, I think the international was trying to compete with New Holland, Freeman, um, all the three tie guys. There was a bale pickup wagon New Holland made. I have not seen it yet. I hear it's out there, and it picks up the three wire or three string bales, you know. But now our Cusin that we sell also bundles three string balers. So I don't know if it'll do the 99 because the 99 is that oddball. Like the 98 New Holland looks like a 77, but it's a three. That also makes a 19 by 24-inch bale with three wires on it. So, any other questions out there? I'm trying to push this video to 2 hours. Now, remember, I'm going to practice all week. So if you got friends that have balers, this is your time to shine. Post your comments. I'll try to get back to your answers as quick as I can. Try to make this good for everybody. This Sunday, if you comment, I'm gonna have my wife write your name down, and I'm gonna get to your questions when I explain another one. If I don't get to you, don't despair. I'm gonna try to bring up your question in the next video. I do. So I'm gonna try to, after this week, I'm gonna do one every night. I'm going to try to, on just Sundays, answer the questions, but the questions carry over. We'll do one the following night. Adaptable to 60 by 18 bales. Yeah, that's a 77 New Holland. That's that bale chamber on that baler, 60 by 18. But just imagine having a bale wagon that's able to do 19 by 24-inch bales. And let me tell you what, brother, that is a bale of hay when you get that about 4 foot long. Cold water. Does anybody else got any other questions? We're at 92 minutes. I want to thank everybody that's been here, been listening. You guys are all truly great. You're awesome. Hopefully someday you guys can pass on what I teach you guys onto somebody else. It's called paying it forward. So it's a great feeling knowing you could fix something for somebody and make their life easier and better. Just this world's ugly. Let's not make it any uglier. To take some frustration out of someone's life is a great thing. I try to do it every day, guys. I get sad sometimes with some of the problems people have with their equipment, and some dealers and stuff aren't sensitive to farmers at all. And we kind of need to keep our farmers going. I don't care how small you are. If you got this 3 chickens, you're still a farmer in my heart. Don't like it when I see the big guys pick on the little guys, because guess what? We were all little when we all started, you know? Not all of us can, work a couple thousand acres. We weren't designed to. But you know what? When you got just a few animals and you're taking care of them, you're working off the land, it's all that matters. You're fine, brother. I've got guys that call me all the time. I fixed a guy's baler 15 years ago. He still calls me probably twice a month. I'm real as it gets, people. If you guys want to stop in, go to lunch, we'll go to lunch. We'll hang out, whatever. I mean, we'll talk about balers. I'll show you the ones I got. Opinions are always welcome. If you guys, got a baler you like. Tyler, how you doing, Tyler? You know what? You need to get your dad to bring his baler out so I can fine tune it. Jump in that rollback of yours. If I'm thinking of the right Tyler, I might not be. Forgive me if I'm thinking of the wrong person. This has been really great, guys. Looking forward to commenting more and working with you guys. Spread the word. Like, share, and subscribe. I don't know how this YouTube thing works. Just trying to reach more people. Well, yeah, guys, this is all it's all about. A lot of times when I come out to work on your balers, we don't like, well, kind of like in your case, Tyler, you and your dad, it was kind of cold that day when we were out there. So, I mean, but your dad did hook me up with some awesome steaks from that butcher shop. I'm not going to forget that in an awesome hardware store that used to be an ex-international dealer. Very interesting people on here that I meet. Some of the stuff in small towns I get to go to, meet some really great people in my travels. Um, just want to get everybody's baler up and going. I don't want anybody having trouble. But like I tell everybody, make sure you got a backup. Whether it's the same model, but another one ready to go. And don't leave your backup in the shed and don't use it. Worst thing you do, say 5, 6 years and then decide to use it. No, I don't. But if somebody wants to comment and post, um, please post the links to this video out there, share it, whatever you guys got to do. Just remember, I'm going to try to concentrate at one every night this week. I'm going to get on. I'm going to work at this. I'm going to try to figure out the tooling or how this thing works for as far as doing the live videos. I know a lot of guys do it. But I tried watching them, but I don't know behind the scenes how they're handling the questions and answers. But I think I'm doing pretty good here. But if you guys need baler twine and stuff, I do have a lot of that. Yeah, please share the video. Let other people know. I'm gonna try to do this tomorrow night, same time, probably 8 o'clock, a little earlier than 8:30. We're at 96 minutes. I'm gonna try to go the full 2 hours that I said I was going to, because when I take my phone calls during the day, guys, I'm literally 4.5, 5 hours on the phone trying to walk people through the repairs. So you have to bear with me. But that's why I want to train more people, get them more comfortable. If you're comfortable with your baler, and I know you are, I will start sending people your way so you can help take some of the burden off of me. Because if you kind of know how they work and how they click together, and you've got that gift to be able to turn a wrench and understand a square baler, you're a gift. You will be a blessing in somebody's life. Trust me. I've had lots of people blessings in my life. I am not a high-tech tractor mechanic. I take my stuff to the Mennonites a lot to do that. How are you set for IH service bulletins for balers? I've got a lot of blue ribbon service manuals. I hate to tell you this, but they're in storage. Haven't really pulled them out because there's not much more for me to know after being taught how to work on the knotters themselves. And I was told those books really, they'll get you close, but they won't set the baler up really correctly. There's still quite a few IH guys out there, guys, like for tractors or whatever else. They're full of knowledge. Go learn from them. They're going to be better than any book you can buy. And record them. I don't care if I come to you work on your baler, and Ross knows this and Tyler knows this. I told them you can record me. And that way you can see what I do and you can replay it and just like redo the repair the same way I did it in the video. I try to make it as easiest to understand as possible. It's not always easy to explain what my brain's thinking 90 miles a minute and showing somebody what my hands can actually do. But I had another person jump on. Okay, anybody out there with any other baler questions? Parts are becoming hard, guys, so definitely buy parts balers. That would be my recommendation for anybody. And Ross, I think you know this more than anybody. Tyler, it's getting harder and harder to find parts, and if you do find them, the guys that have them kind of want gold price for them, and they can, because it's getting almost harder and harder to find parts that are like good used. Anybody else have any questions? Yeah, if you want to post those, you're more than welcome to post them on the comments. Post links to anything that could help anybody, guys. If you guys know somewhere's a site that could help somebody out as we're having these videos, please post it. Information's a great thing. Oh, see another question come up. Yeah, guys, don't be shy. If you got links to stuff, I'm gonna try to get the guy's name and phone number down in Kentucky, Tennessee. He's got lots of international parts. I've gotten some twine discs from him. He says if anybody's out there looking, he's got like 4 sets of international 45 needles and saddle because they're made. The needles are made into the saddle. They're actually welded onto it. So if you know anybody out there that needs a set of saddle and needles, this guy's got like 4 sets of them. Brand new stock. Yes, it would. If you make the video and you send it to me, I'll upload it. Or we'll put it on Hey Baler Nation. So everybody knows, I'm on Facebook, Hey Baler Nation, Hey Baler Repair and Discussion. I'm on a couple other web pages on there as well. I'd like to join more, but I was not a good boy, and I posted some political posts, and I got flagged, so I was in Facebook jail, a survivor. So I'm on probation still for a while, so that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards YouTube. YouTube's been really good to me. So I've uploaded a lot of videos here lately. Got a lot more to go. But if you guys have a baler you want me to do a video on or whatever, I can. Just let me know what models you're looking for, and I can do a timing DVD or something for it. I use like on the balers, I try to use spots on the baler that are they never change during production, and that's how I set the timing to like a clock method kind of deal, like I did in the John Deere 336 up to the 348 timing DVD. It's a short video. I just did it for Christmas to make everybody kind of understand how to time their John Deere baler. The biggest thing you can do for balers, guys, and this is out there except for guys with internationals, of course, New Holland, John Deere, change your chains. Go buy a new chain, get it changed, retime it. Don't be scared of it, because if the chain breaks, you're going to be scared of the repair bill. Chain is a lot cheaper than parts. So basic maintenance is also cheaper than parts. I have a bunch of IH and John Deere film. Wow. Well, please share it. Don't be selfish with it. Share it. If I had a box of donuts, I'd share it with everybody here, but I'm not allowed to have them right now. Anybody else got any questions? Well, it's been nice with you guys. I made it to 102 minutes. So I'm going to end the video for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow night, same time. We're going to do this till it comes up on Sunday, and we're going to see how it makes out. But I hopefully I get a little more practice. But you guys have a great night. I will see you guys tomorrow.